Okay, it being 5 p.m., the Lafourche Parish Council meeting of July 8, 2025 is hereby called to order. And go ahead and do roll call. Councilman Brumfield.
Present.
Councilman Adams.
Present.
Councilman Perk.
Here.
Councilman Melvin.
Here.
Councilman Pierce.
Here.
Councilman Araby.
Here.
Chairman Otan is here. Councilwoman Chesson. Councilman Lorraine. And Parish President Chesson. All right, very good. Everyone's in attendance. With that said, if everyone would please rise for invocation led by Councilman Perk, followed by Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Lorraine.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Lord, as we begin this meeting, we ask for your guidance in conducting the business affairs to serve the best interests of our parish. We ask you to protect our parish employees who work out in this immense heat every day and protect our families and parish during this hurricane season. We also ask you to provide strength and comfort to those who have lost loved ones and those devastated by the Texas floods this past weekend. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, as usual, I will just welcome everyone to tonight's council meeting. Remind anyone wishing to address the council, please fill out a blue form, get it up here, we'll make sure audience. Item B, we have none. Item C, presentations and or updates. We have one, Ms. Christie.
Continue the momentum that we've built. And speaking of building, I call this the five-legged stool. So we talked about business retention and expansion. We do business recruitment. Workforce development is extremely important. Regional collaboration is something that I can get on my soapbox and preach about all day because we really need everyone to come together and speak with a collective voice. And then quality of place. You've heard of community development because we can bring all of the businesses here and we can help them expand and we go with their families so that they want to stay in the area. As far as regional collaboration, I've been hosting several meetings in the 4-parish area and collectively as 4 parishes so that we can all learn what the other is doing. We need to make sure that the left hand knows what the right hand is doing so that we're not duplicating efforts, and we want to make sure that we all speak with one voice because it's louder. We've also hosted parish leaders in the last 2 years. I think we've had 3 different parish leader meetings. It's something that I don't believe was ever done before. So I'm proud that we're able to bring all of those leaders together, and a lot of them have a lot of the same challenges, and we also celebrate their wins as well. As far as our team, if we're moving on to page 5, if you're keeping up, you'll see the 2 executive level positions there, myself and Christian Bajeron. He formerly worked for Congressman Garrett Graves. But we also have several other members of the subcontractors from Louisiana. So we make sure to stick with CPRA and all of the other coastal projects that we have going on out there and make sure that those projects are going to Louisiana companies to keep our people employed. As far as workforce, here with all of the community college system programs that are available at Fletcher and SOLA CC. They will be familiar with Louisiana Workforce Commission programs as well as LED programs so that they can go back to those businesses and say, the other ones, and we really think that this one will come across the finish line. The next page is about a win in Terrebonne Parish. You may have heard, I believe it was just last week or the week before, about a $100 million innovation campus in Houma. They're taking over the Courier building. So they'll be doing some very scientific work when it comes to medical research for the brain, and also about 1,100 jobs there. And then in St. Mary, about a month ago, Golfcraft was purchased by Saronic, and they are going to be building unmanned vessels for the Navy. So we're real excited about these announcements. CoLab is not there to show up for a picture. We're trying to help to get anything over the finish line that we can. So we are, again, excited about all three of those announcements. And then what I'm really here to tell you about is some recent accomplishments. We've had a lot of firsts for the Bayou region with CoLab. We did our first ever Bayou Bash. That was at Washington Mardi Gras. Despite the snow this year keeping a lot of people from attending, we still had over 200 people attend the Bayou Bash at Washington Mardi Gras, eating king cake a lot for the first time. We also did the first ever Bayou Region Day at the Capitol, where we brought people in the Pentagon Barrack courtyard to learn more about what is available in the Bayou region, and we had over 300 people in attendance for that. And then also, we will be hosting our third annual Bayou Business Summit. The first year it was in Lafourche, the second year it was in Terrebonne, and this year, next month, we are going to host it in St. Mary Parish. It's going to be at Cypress Bayou Casino with a VIP reception the evening before at Mr. Lester's, and I'll be sending all of you information on that. We have 3 panel discussions about that. One is on innovation, one is on energy, and one is on growth. But we are more than just events. We do certified sites for all 4 parishes, and I'm happy to say that in the last year we have doubled our certified sites. We went from 3 to 6, but it's a start. We also have about 6 more in the pipeline. And certified sites are basically property that is shovel-ready. All of the due diligence has been completed on that, and LED then hosts those sites on their website to try to bring in more businesses in the area. We have aligned our strategic plan with that of LED's strategic plan that they just recently rolled out. And as far as business recruitment and retention, we are actively going on all of the BRE visits, as they're known, with Christy and her counterparts in the other parishes, and we've completed 37 alongside our local EDOs, something that has not been accomplished before. We also have graduated the first cohort of the Bayou Region CEO Roundtable. This is a program that LED has been doing for years in each of the other regions. The Bayou region just completed their first one, and we have our second cohort starting tomorrow. We are actively advocating for the Bayou region. You may have seen me here, I think, last month when I spoke against the legacy lawsuits for Lafourche Parish. Again, I mentioned CTAC, and we also have our own energy task force to help with the all-of-the-above energy approach while still preserving our legacy industries. As far as strategic priorities, again, I mentioned workforce development. We are moving toward more certified sites. We have legislative priorities aligned at both the Capitol and in Washington, D.C. And as far as speaking with one voice, regional collaboration is the way to go with that. You'll hear me say that over and over, and you'll read about it a lot too. One region and one voice to work together to improve the Bayou region. And with that, that was my 5 to 10 minute recap of what we've been doing for the past year or so. I'm happy to answer any questions, but I do want to say that I appreciate your time.
Does anyone have any comments, questions, inquiries? Looks like we good? Nope. Hold on one second. We have one that presses. Terry Abbey, you have the floor, sir.
I just want to thank you for coming over here and giving us in-depth report here. And again, if you're attracting any type of businesses, I'm sure we should get us a grocery store in the Raceland community. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that brings us to item D, engineers and/or architect reports. None? All right. Brings us to item E, public wishing to address the council, public hearings, agenda items, et cetera. I had no one bring. Does anyone want to address the council? All right, brings us to item F, approval of minutes. I'll now entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the June 24, 2025 regular session. So moved by Mr. Brumfield, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item G, public hearing and ordinances for ratification. I'll now entertain a motion to open public hearing. So moved by Mr. Brumfield, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 2, ordinance establishing a 20 miles per hour speed limit on Savoy Street, Bayou Blue, Louisiana, Ward 11, District 5, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, requiring the placement of 2 speed limit signs at the beginning of the street and midway coming in the opposite direction and providing penalties for the violations thereof. So moved by Mr. Pierce, second by Mr. Araby. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at 2? Second call, public input on this ordinance. Last and final call. Anyone wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council wants to discuss? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 3, ordinance amending ordinance number 7049 that adopted the 2025 operations and maintenance budget and capital budget for the Lafourche Parish Council, as well as setting the salaries of unclassified employees as provided for by Article 5 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Moved by Ms. Chesson for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 3? Second call, public input on the ordinance at number 3. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? With that said, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 4, ordinance approving a lease agreement between William Scotsman Incorporated and Lafourche Parish Government for a mobile office unit to serve the Bayou Blue Head Start location, and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Ms. Chesson for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 4? Second call, public input, the ordinance at number 4. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 4? Anyone from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. I now entertain a motion to close public hearing. So moved by Mr. Perk, second by Mr. Brumfield. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item H, proposed ordinances. Mr. Perk, you have the mic, sir. Oh, hold on. Mr. President, you were looking at trying to say something? Yeah, Mr. Chairman. We're gonna press your button again, please.
Sorry.
Got it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under proposed ordinance, we need to pull number 5.
So you're not deferring, just pulling it?
Just pull it. Yeah, we're going to make a couple corrections and we'll resubmit it.
Okay, so item 4 is pulled. All right, Mr. Perk, if you want to read all of the rest of the proposed ordinances.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Proposed ordinance number 6, proposed ordinance approving the dededication of 540 feet more or less of 25-foot drainage servitude accepted into the parish system under the subdivision known as Yvonne D. Galliano Public Subdivision, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Councilman Lorraine for administration, and that is it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Perk. Are we good, Ms. Rachel? Everything's good? Okay, brings us to item I, resolutions. Number 7, resolution appointing one member on the Veterans Memorial District Ward 10 of the Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, Board representing post number 259. Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Lorraine?
Excuse me. I have Lucas Bourgeois, one applicant and one vacancy.
Very good. Can I get a second for Mr. Bourgeois? Second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays. Item 8, resolution accepting the low quote of Chesson's Demolition LLC in the amount of $6,000 for contracted services related to nuisance abatement concerning the demolition of condemned structure located at 17502 West Main Street, Galliano, Louisiana, 70354, assessment number 0101897100, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 9, resolution approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office and Lafourche Parish Government to provide food services at Lafourche Parish Head Start sites and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Ms. Chesson for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 10, resolution accepting a donation from the Walmart Spark Good local grant in the amount of $2,500 to assist with the cost of providing school uniform assistance and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any all relevant documents. Mr. Brumfield for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays. Item 11, resolution supporting a proposal submitted by Ducks Unlimited for funding of the Enhancing Resilience Through Marsh Restoration and Living Shorelines in the Terrebonne Basin Project, LA Project, through the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation National Coastal Resilience Fund Program, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays. Item 12, resolution approving amendment number 1 to the agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Chesson's Demolition LLC concerning the demolition of condemned structures located at 454 Paula Drive, Thibodaux, Louisiana 70301, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Brumfield for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays. Item 13, resolution rescinding resolution number 25-062 that accepted the low quote of Chesson's Demolition LLC in the amount of $5,800 for contracted services related to nuisance abatement concerning the demolition of condemned structure located at 166 West 130th Street, Cutoff, Louisiana 70345. Assessment number 0101869200, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, I checked on this, and what happened here was the contractor was late in getting to do that project. He had others, I guess, so his time ran out. So now we got to rescind it. But my concern is, I'm going to vote to rescind it, but I hope it's put back soon. You saw how careful I was, huh? Soon.
Yeah, hopefully they come back and they bid at a lower cost since we paid for all this advertising too.
Well, I'm just telling you what happened because I was concerned because that's the one I had the most complaints on. And now I got to go back and tell these people that we got to wait so I can go back and tell them it'll be done soon. Thank you, sir.
All right, Mr. Lorraine. With that said, all in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays. Item 14, resolution accepting the proposal from Royal Engineers and Consultants to provide professional services for the Galliano Marsh Creation Project and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer an agreement and any all relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Pierce. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays. Item 15, resolution approving change order number 3 for the project titled Courthouse Annex Hurricane Ida Repair Renovations, increasing the contract price by $517,214.46 and adding 60 additional days, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. And Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you. I see Councilman Araby stink-eyeing me at the price of this one, right? Again, as we've approved a couple of these change orders already for the courthouse annex, a lot of it has to do with just asbestos that we didn't know was under some of the subflooring and in the walls. In this particular case, it's asbestos around some of the piping that's in the building. And then when they pulled off the asbestos wrapping on the piping, we realized that there was a lot of corrosion on the piping because that stuff's original. So while we're in there doing this stuff, we're going to change out all that piping and make sure it's brand new, because the fear was we leave that old piping in there, Annette in the clerk of court's office, everybody, judges move back in, and then a pipe burst, and then we have water flowing everywhere on all these old records, on all the judges' stuff, and we're back in the same boat that we were. So while we're in there working, we're just going to knock it out while we're in there.
The thought is this will be a FEMA reimbursable?
We're going to
potentially?
try. If not, then it'll be part of our 10% and the cost that we're going to have to eat on it. And look, I have a feeling, Mitch and I talk about these things weekly. We're going to run into some of these same issues, I think, when we get across the street in the old courthouse, right? That building's going to be even worse because it's 200-something years old. So some of this stuff is not going to be FEMA reimbursable at the end of the day, but hopefully it saves us the cost in 10, 15 years down the road when we start to have electrical, mechanical, all these fun issues that we're just repairing while we're in there now, knowing that eventually we're going to have to bite the bullet on it.
All right. Mr. Araby has some more about the annex. Mr. Araby.
Mr. President, not always I agree with you, but I got to agree this time. If we're going to do it, let's do it right and be done with it. Thank you.
Short and sweet. Thank you, Mr. Araby. With that said, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays. Item 16, resolution approving change order number 3 for the project titled New Galliano Health Unit, increasing the contract price by $25,877.27 and adding 55 days to the contract time, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said change order and any all relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor first, sir.
Yeah, is this scheduled to be on July the 17th to cut the ribbon? Okay, I just wanted to see if it's still on schedule.
All right. Ms. Chesson, you have the floor, ma'am.
Can we get into what is left to do and when the grass is going to get cut and all that good stuff?
All right, and Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. They're down to just the final punch list items. There's a couple of nitpicky stuff when Mitch and the engineers and the contractors did the walkthrough a few weeks ago. All of the grass is going to be cut and landscaped nice and pretty before the end of next week when we come back and do the ribbon cutting. And then it'll be put on, once we take ownership of the building, our buildings and maintenance crew will start doing the regular grass cutting like we do on all the other buildings every week.
All right, if there's no further discussion, we'll bring this one to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item J, Parish President, Department Heads, Directors, or Managers' reports, presentations, and or updates. Item 17, Department of Public Works Representative to present a report. And Mr. Dillon, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir. I did email all of you the report for this month, but I do have a quarterly presentation. All right. As always, starting with the Thibodeau Field Office, Millstone Drive, swept roadside ditches. Layton Pump Station installed float tubes. This is one pump station that has not been automated, but something we've been wanting to do for a long time. So we currently have 2 pumps automated and working on getting a 3rd. Highway 3185 outfall, swept outfall. You can see a little buildup at the bridge. Louise Street outfall, swept outfall. Country Club concrete line ditch, clean that outfall as well. St. Bernard ditch, cut and clean ditch. This is one that we have to do by hand with inmate labor because we do not have a right-of-way to access it with equipment. Sewer plant road outfall. This is one of the major outfalls in Thibodeau. We're kind of starting a path moving from south to north in that area. This is the first one and it's almost complete. Crossing North outfall, remove lilies from the outfall. East Winder Road and Parish Road, swept roadside ditches. Also in the 3000 block of Parish Road, swept roadside ditches. Route of Cypress, swept drainage ditch and clean culverts. Moving to Choctaw Field Office, the Chack Bay North Levee, swept Barrow Canal. This is the new and improved Zeller pump station. We finally got around to installing the fuel tank, the pumps, engines, gear heads, handrails. You will see on the pump status report that there is still one portable pump out there. We are going to run this over the next 2 or 3 rain events and make sure we worked out all the kinks and there are no issues. If there are no issues, we will pull the portable pump, and we currently are waiting on the building to come in to install over the engines. Moving to Bayou Blue Field Office, this is 845 South Water Plant Road, replace a collapsed driveway culvert. Dupree outfall, Terre Haute Place swept outfall. This is the outfall that a gentleman came about 3 or 4 months ago at the meeting. We got that one taken care of. Lake Long Drive swept roadside ditches. Bayou Bend Drive swept roadside ditches. Moving to Raceland Field Office is Triple Oaks Drive swept roadside ditches. Dano Street swept roadside ditches, as well as Washington Street. Thoroughbred Park Pump Reservoir, clean vegetation from the reservoir. And this is on the supercharged side, remove vegetation from that ditch as well. Bayou Vista right-of-way, cleared the right-of-way. Upper Line Avenue outfall, swept the outfall. Some more on Thoroughbred Park Drive, swept drainage ditches. Moving to Lockport Field Office, East 3rd Street, swept outfall. East 36th Street, or the Mathern outfall, swept the outfall. Coastal Pump Station, constructed excavator pad to clean trash screen. This was kind of an ordeal prior to, we used to have to haul in mats and build a road to get in, and it took us a long time to do it. We spent 2 or 3 days out there just to get in to clean the trash screen. Now we can mobilize quickly and get it done. So a little bit of legwork and expense, but we got a little more efficient because of it. Hugh Caffrey outfall, swept outfall. Industrial Park Road, replace access tubes for drain valves. These are access tubes that allow us to get to the valves to close during hurricane events. A lot of them, this project was started, I think, back in 2011, and a lot of the pipes around the valves were starting to collapse or give us issues, so they were all replaced. East 16th Street outfall, swept outfall. West 55th Street, swept roadside ditches and reset culvert. A large portion of this project was completed, but we still have more to do. We are working with the center to see if we can also lower the culverts under their driveways. And then the school board has also hired an engineer to study some stuff on their end. So we are working closely with that engineer. We're supposed to set up a meeting in the next week or two and work on that 56th Street side as well once he gives us some ideas of what's going on there. Charlie Wallace outfall, swept the outfall. Moving to Galliana Field Office, East 69th Street, swept roadside ditches. West 21st Street outfall, swept the outfall. East Golden Meadow Pump Station, replaced collapsed culvert. The culvert that actually fed the pump station was collapsed. East 91st Street outfall, swept outfall. As far as the work completed by the maintenance contractor, this is 184 West 126th Street. You'll see asphalt patch. As well as 208 West 126th Street and 234. 141 West 109th Street. 167 North Lake Drive, replace concrete panels and curb. The Raceland Field Office rebuilt containment for the fuel area. At the Lockport Field Office, we replaced the north gate panels. This is the entrance to our field office, where all of our heavy equipment comes in and out of. 306 Brandywine, 318 Brandywine, and 401 Brandywine, and 413 Brandywine, replaced concrete panels. 600 Parkside Drive, replaced concrete panels. 601 Parkside, replaced concrete panels. 525 Carla Drive, replaced concrete panels. As far as the work completed in the office over the second quarter, there were no permanent servitudes acquired, but 2 servitudes were dededicated. 2 major subdivisions were inspected and 3 major subdivisions were reviewed. 19 property redivision reviews were completed. 49 culvert permits and 13 fence permits issued. We received 1,565 work requests over that quarter. 352 work orders were created from that, and 251 work orders were completed. 224 permits were reviewed for compliance, and 36 jobs were completed by the maintenance contractor. And that concludes my report. I'll entertain any questions.
All right, first up, we have Councilman Melvin. I'm pressing your button, but it's not allowed. Did you press it twice?
Do I need to turn mine off?
Well, you're gonna have to go last. No, sorry, Bo. Councilman Araby.
Yeah, Mr. Dillon, got a problem on IO Street, and I know the supervisor's been out there, and your assistant's been out there. This guy's got his driveway all cemented and covered with culverts, and he extended it, I don't know, it might be 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 feet, I don't know exactly how far it is. They went out there, these culverts are pretty well in bad shape under that cement. And I think you guys went out there, and I'm not sure if they're gonna do this project or not. But I do know that several places in Lafourche Parish that we're changing driveway covers out and things like that. And we're allowed to put 40 feet down. I'd like to see if you can maybe check into that and see if we can maybe change 40 foot of bad covers out there. And if the rest of his covers are bad, it's gonna be up to him to change out the rest, or have them while we're there to change them. But these covers are pretty bad. The guy keeps flagging me down and stopping me and telling me about y'all going out there and not doing nothing about it. So just thought I'd let you know about it and see if you can see what can be done.
Thank you, Mr. Araby. Mr. Brumfield.
I just want to thank you for Paula Drive.
Thank you, Mr. Brumfield, and we return to you, Mr. Melvin.
Thank you. Dillon and Parish President, thank you all for all the great work in my district. Looks great, and of course throughout the parish. I know, just real quick, I had a couple of calls from some folks about that cement line ditch in the country club that they cleaned. Somebody said, yeah, they had the boat in there, but they weren't hauling a whole lot of branches, because some of the branches were coming through the cement, and that's the ones that they were concerned about as well. So I saw in the picture they get an overhead, that's great, but it just seems like there's some stuff coming through the cement ditch that maybe would have to be poisoned. In other words, we don't want it to ruin the integrity of that wall, because it's been a good thing for us, unlike the newer portion. So I wanted you to maybe answer that, or maybe see if you want to meet me out there and we look at some other things, we can have a look. Also, on the Bayou Vista pump station, I know there's a lot of movement. We're redoing some right-of-ways, and I saw the machine on the clearing. Is there any, date on the calendar for maybe breaking ground or something with that? And lastly, Lafourche Bypass Bridge, any updates on that?
All right, so Mr. Dillon, if you want to answer some of these, I'll put you back up. And I had Terry Araby asked about the IO Street, Bowhead Cement Line Ditch, and Bayou Vista Pump Station, and Lafourche Bypass Bridge. That's what I took notes.
Yes, sir. I got them. Ms. Araby will certainly look into that. I'll ask him if they have an address for IO Street, and we'll look at it. And certainly, if it's our responsibility to change it, we will. We will not put landscape culverts in if he has them. That's going to be solely on the landowner. But the driveway, we will if everything meets the criteria. Mr. Brumfield, you're very welcome. Mr. Melvin, the country club ditch, they were supposed to spray that as well. They didn't just cut the overhead. They were supposed to spray the stuff that they cut out of the concrete as well. I'll verify that. If they didn't, we'll go back and do it. And either way, they did that 2 or 3 months ago, so it's probably time to do it again. The Bayou Vista Pump Station, we do not have a hard date on breaking ground, but I can tell you that we are moving into preliminary design this week. Miling has been completed. Now, miling has to be submitted to the grant agency, and they have to review it. So if they buy in, we're going to kind of get started on preliminary design anyway, but once they buy in, we're going to full steam ahead on that. We do still have to get a right-of-way from the sewer district in the back, because there's going to be a small retention pond in the area. I know they're pretty excited about the project, so they'll work well with us. Also, we have started the process of the environmental review. So residents are probably going to get letters. Other agencies in the area are going to get letters, make sure they have no issue with it. And that company is going to work through the process of, we're also going to have to do a wetland delineation and all this other stuff. So that's the time-consuming thing driving this whole part, but it is well underway. Lafourche Bypass, I do not have an update. It's still in the same status as it's been for a while.
And Dylan, I'll just comment, seeing the work that was done at Coastal was pretty impressive, because when I first became a councilman, I was appalled at all these new pump stations being built with no consideration for accessing the rake, which is just crazy. It's beyond belief. And there's been many since my time that were built just like this one that took no consideration to access it,
Yes,
which
sir.
is just crazy. It blows my mind.
And that's been a priority probably since I've been here. The guys have been asking to get this done. Funding was a little bit of an issue, and then we had to get it designed because we couldn't put that much upstanding weight on the backside of that sheet pile wall. So we had to go back to
Always
the
the
engineer
case.
that designed it and ask. And actually, if you look in the picture, we were able to utilize some lightweight material called Silverlight, which is actually the risers that go on the pipe offshore. They grind them up and make lightweight material out of it. So it's actually a pretty neat scenario we did there. We were able to do it pretty cost effective, use a local company that used local riser and ground it up. So
Very good. Thank you, sir.
thank you.
With that said, brings us to item K, questions for the administration. Mr. Araby, you have the floor first, sir.
Mr. President, can you give me an update on the famous Butch Hill pump station, sir? Are we making any headway with the last excuse you told me?
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So thanks to Representative Ogeron, Senator Fazy, we were shifted some money, which was the last thing we were waiting for within capital outlay. So I'm hopeful. I think Dylan's got a couple more modifications to make. He says he'll finish on Monday, so before the end of the month.
And one thing I will say, Mr. President, is, I still don't know where we stand on the boat launches. We've talked about recreation taking over the maintenance of them, yada, yada. It's kind of DPW, and it kind of falls through the cracks. And that was a little bit of a sore eye for the July 4th weekend, specifically Lockport's boat launch with the tall grass, and it was not very attractive. And I want to reach out and see, but sometimes I kind of like, I hate putting it on the barn because they got higher priorities in rainy seasons, et cetera. So anyway, I'll just make that comment that our public boat launches still need attention on a regular basis. Terry, you had a follow-up? All right, well, I'm zonking you out. And with that said, brings us to item L, discussion. Item 18, discussion concerning the garbage trash, garbage cans, and garbage lids. Mr. Lorraine, if you press your button, you are live.
I just decided to put everything on the agenda, but the problem that I'm having in my area, and I'm sure y'all got some problems too, is the trash. It seems like District 9 became a dump, as far as I'm concerned. And they have slowed down a lot. They used to come every couple of weeks and all. Don't expect to get it picked up every 2 weeks, because it's not going to happen. That's what it's supposed to be. But what I do, before every council meeting, I'll go around my district and I write down what's not picked up. But what's happening, I'm getting more and more and more, and I'm getting some of the same places that should have been picked up the 2 weeks before, that's not. I have all my stuff documented. And no matter who's the garbage contractor, you're going to have problems. As far as garbage, I have one section from East 71st. They usually skip 2 or 3 houses on the highway right there till 68. So hopefully that's been getting better. So hopefully that'll get better. But as far as the trash, why can't the driver of that garbage truck write down where the trash is at in them streets? They're going to pick up all the garbage. Write it down. Instead of talking on the phone, write down where the trash is at and turn it in. And then it needs to get picked up. I don't know what's so hard about that. But I could tell you what's hard about it is what I just said. Get off the phone and do what you need to do. And if you need a garbage can or you need a lid or you need something with them, I'd advise you to call River Burge. I'll give you the number. It's 504-867-2730. You can also call the parish at 537-7603. But I'd call River Burge direct because they want to know the address. They want to know who they're talking to. They want to make sure that you're paying your garbage on your water bill and all kind of stuff like that. But that's what I would do. But my main concern was the trash. And I'm going to say this, and I talked to Archie before. If that trash truck stops on West 100, he finishes his day on West 100, he should start on West 101 tomorrow. But what I noticed, I see him, because look, don't go kid yourself. I ride around in my district, and I know what's going on, and I see it. If he stops there, he should start on the next street, but he disappears for 2 or 3 weeks. So where in the hell is he going? I'm not blaming the administration. I'm not blaming the solid waste department. Got a good working relationship with them. But somebody needs to take more control and see. Now, I think they said they came out with a new plan. Well, I hope the new plan is better than the old plan, because the old plan ain't too good. And I hope the new plan is better than the old plan. So hopefully in 2 weeks from now, when I come back, my list won't be as long. So I don't know if y'all have any problems, but there are some problems out there. Done.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lorraine. Do we have any other discussion? And Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Daniel kind of stole my thunder a minute ago, but just a reminder for you guys, the 17th of July, we'll be doing the ribbon cutting on the new Galleon Health Unit. And then on Friday, August 1st, we'll be doing the ribbon cutting on the new Tourist Commission Center, for those of you who want to do that. A few minutes ago, you guys approved that contract modification with Royal. That money is coming out of the state's coastal annual plan, so thank you to Chairman Dove for putting that extra money in there for us to actually do that and continue the coastal work that we're doing. We have probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 projects in the annual plan that Megan's worked really hard to get in there, on top of some of the stuff that we've been doing with Ducks Unlimited through NALCA and NIFWIF and the other work that we've been doing. And while most of them are sitting here, since I didn't see them when the school year ended, just a huge thank you to our Head Start staff. Another great school year of educating our young children, exceeding the scores and the programs set by the state and the National Head Start group. So kudos to Ms. Huddleston and her staff for knocking it out of the park again this year. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, with that said, we have a motion by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Brumfield, and with no further business, Lafourche Parish Council regular meeting of July 8, 2025 will be adjourned at 17:51 hours. All in favor signify by saying aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays.